Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, and welcome to a new video here on Turbo. Wanted to do a full update here, mostly technically, all right? And there's also technically there's plenty to talk about right here, so that's what we'll do. And it's a very interesting structure here. I've talked about Turbo before, of course, and I've covered Turbo for over a year already. So well, welcome back to all of you who follow my Turbo videos. But yeah, like I said, it's very interesting. I mean, Turbo to me still looks bullish. It's obviously, I mean, it's a meme coin, and therefore at some point of time I do think we'll reject again, and that's also historically what we have seen from Turbo, right? It always ends in it always ends historically at least in quite a big pullback, so that's also something we should be aware of. But short term here, even though there are some divergences we need to talk about, I mean, the volume keeps getting lower. The open interest keeps getting lower and the RSI is getting lower, so that's a triple bearish divergence. I still think we have a high chance of breaking out, and I'll tell you why. But yeah, so that's what we'll talk about. Let's get right into it. If you have any questions or if you want to discuss this, let me know down in the comments, or better yet, because there's a lot of spammers and scammers in the comments, join the Telegram or the Discord, all right? There you can always reach me, and I try to respond as soon as I can. But so far what we're seeing from Turbo is that if you zoom all the way out, we're basically in this range that Turbo was also in back between June 2024 and October 2024, right? So that's between 0.75 cents, so 0.0075, and 0.71 cents. Main resistance, super strong resistance as well. And then what you have a couple of levels in the middle. One of them being the POC, right? So the POC sometimes is referred to as the middle of the range, as in that is the area where most of the volume has been traded. And you can see right here that it's a bit of an area right here where you have a high volume node at 0.45 and a high volume node at 0.41. So I would argue that is, well, 0.41 is the POC, but I would argue that this is the POC zone. And what you can see is that with the price action so far, we've been able to consolidate on top of that. All right, so structure-wise, zoomed all the way out, that already gives me a bullish bias on Turbo. All right, and then we also know, like, these divergences, I do think we need to know about them, and we do now. However, divergences don't always mean that the price will fall down, right? And I think a lot of you that do a lot of trading know that, right? I mean, if you see an RSI divergence or a volume divergence, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. We could also see one major move up, which will provide us with a high time frame divergence, because these are all divergences on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily time frame, maybe we also have it, but it's a lot less clear, right? There we actually did not make a higher high with the price, so it's not a divergence. But therefore, given the fact that we are still consolidating on top of the POC, given the fact that we're still gaining a lot of open interest here and there, and spot volume, by the way. I mean, spot volume last 24 hours is up 150%. Volume now is up to $235 million on a $370 million market cap. So therefore, I have to say that, and the markets are also a bit shaky, so it's quite risky for me to say this, but I would say it's most likely we're still going to get that bullish breakout into that main resistance zone between 0.71 and 0.75 cents. And then from there, I think we'll find resistance and we'll reject back down. I think that's a better candidate to get that pullback, which we always get for Turbo, than where the prices are right now, and I think the price action confirms that. But I'll keep you updated on that. I mean, it's never certain, of course, predictions and crypto, and I would say the main invalidation zone for this would be around 0.46 cents. All right, so that's the upper edge of that point of control area. If we drop down below that, which, you know, if we get some very bearish news, then that is a possibility. So if we drop down below that, then I think that's the cue to say, all right, this is invalidated, and we'll most likely drop back down into support at 0.35 and 0.3 cents from here. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know about Turbo for now. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, take care. Have a great Monday. Have a great week, and bye.